Welcome back to the Jeremy Swenson Racing Channel. Today we've got a relatively exciting episode, at least the start of one. We're doing exhaust, and I'm going to get into why we're doing this and what we're planning to do about it. And then you get to watch me struggle through welding some stainless steel. I had some decent luck recently with aluminum with some of my new Tig parts. However, tonight I don't even have my stainless filler wire yet, nor do I have much gas left for argon. So tonight just might be a little bit of a practice scenario using just mild steel filler wire, or whatever is low carbon, high carbon, whatever it's called. So we'll probably just use some of that on stainless just to start getting some practice on some leftover pipe that I have laying around. And then, but before that, we're going to install these new headers. So these are the Flowtech headers. They're 1 7/8", I think. Yeah, they're the 1 7/8 primaries, and then it's into a 3-inch collector with a 3-inch X pipe. And you'll see I had headers on this car, but those appear to be what I would call eBay headers. And you can tell that generally from boogers like that. Not necessarily, I don't really care that much if the welds are boogers. The bigger issue is fitment on this one. This particular header got really close to an oil fitting, like almost touching close. So I didn't really like that. And then the next problem was these flanges were blowing out seals, which I could probably improve the gaskets there and not use those goofy gaskets that come with these things. But it was basically a chance to upgrade and improve what I have. Plus my X pipe, which is a name brand X pipe, has the worst welds I've ever. There's no way that it left a factory with stuff like this. And I can tell you I didn't do that. But there's the, I don't know. I'm not going to say the name brand, but it's not impressive, really. So, anyway, plus I'm going to try a little different design because I had the side pipes, which I like, but when you're sitting in the paddock idling or letting it warm up, you about die from carbon monoxide. So, and it probably goes for the people that are sitting next to me idling along. So I'll just take my O2 sensor out of there, put it in my new X pipe here in a minute. And then the other thing was we melted plugs all the time on these headers. So I'm hopeful, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm hopeful that the new headers, along with these new Excel ceramic plug wires, helps us not have to deal with that ever again. So stay tuned, we're going to get the headers installed and carry on from there. One more thing before I get to installing those headers. These are the header, or the gaskets that come with most of these header systems, even like the high-end header stuff, which to me, that's one thing I liked about this. The Flowtech, it's like, from what I can tell, it looks like just as good of quality as the high-end stuff that I've had. I mean, the welds are really nice. The flange is thicker than the eBay. Everything about them is nicer than the eBay, but they seem about on par quality-wise as some of the really expensive stuff that I'm used to running. And these are a fair bit less than those, which I really appreciate. So that's why we went with these. Plus, I just want to say, please don't use these gaskets. If you're in a race car, don't ever use these. They're free, they came with your kit, great, but get yourself something like these from Mr. Gasket, where it's an actual multi-layer steel, kind of like a head gasket type of deal. And those are far better and will actually seal. So these go in the garbage and find yourself something better. Nice and crooked. I have one more analogy on that stance. If you are a sponsor of racing or whatever it might be, and you want the people that you sponsor to wear your product, please, and I'm talking to Summit basically and others like them that send out the crummiest hats in the history of the world. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ordered parts and you got a free hat with it, the hat you get, like, you wouldn't even try it on because it was such a piece of crap. Look what Holly sent me. This is the nicest hat I've ever had. I've looked all over to find nicer hats, trying just to buy one, and they send me one with my order. I'm not saying they'll send you one, but for me they did, and it's the nicest hat I've ever had. I mean, I don't necessarily look the best because I'm an ugly person in the beginning, but it's a sweet hat. So the point is, like, don't just send out junk, send out something that's like actually gonna get used and not thrown away. There's my pro tip. Join me under the car, won't you? Here's kind of what I was talking about. So our dry sumps here are pressurized oil from the oil filter comes this way, and this is where it pressurizes the engine. If you can see that. And our old header basically sat right here. The fitting's here. The hose doesn't start till like right here. So this is all fitting, which is great. And I've also obviously put some heat protectant around it, but you can see where it got a little warm, and that's obviously something we prefer to avoid anytime we can. So I've already test fit that header over here, and tons of clearance, so I'm thrilled with that. And then you can see where we had ourselves a little blowout, and that may have been contributing to my carbon monoxide issues while I'm trying to race, trying to also breathe. It was kind of a interesting scenario. So anyway, and hopefully the car even runs better, because that bank is what was feeding our O2 sensor, which the car relies on to run. So with a leak there, that obviously can't be helping anything. So maybe the car will run even better now. A guy can hope. So like I told you, I already test fit this side. And another nice thing about well-designed headers, they just plop into place. That's gonna fall down and kill me on camera, and you guys can all laugh. I'm gonna grab the other one, but hopefully I don't have to remove the starter. Oh yeah. Properly designed stuff. Would you look at that? Let's install a header, shall we? Brand new Mr. Gasket. Gaskets. All right, guys, it's about time. I've been getting set up for the stainless TIG welding. Am I zoomed in? Oh yeah. And we're gonna try some stuff, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I think I've got an idea. So turn the machine to DC, and that's about it, right? So this is, I'll show you what I got set up so far. Here's what I'm gonna try and do. This is the most stick out I've ever used. I've never used a cup like that. Maybe I borrowed a cup like that once just to try it. Anyway, I'm not used to that kind of stick out, but that's what I'm told is the thing with stainless. Apparently you need a lot of shielding gas, and you need it to be all over your weld. So, and then according to my buddy Matt, told me to get this stuff because I'm not going to be back purging the backside of the weld. So we'll try the flux stuff. I'm sure some of you will laugh, you pros. I'm not going to buy all that stuff. I've got like a handful of welds to make to build this exhaust system. It's very, very basic, no big deal, other than I gotta try and stick some pieces of stainless together. So I'm gonna try and record all of it so that you can see my very first attempts, and me probably blowing through pipe, and then yeah, you'll see a bunch of probably bloopers, so stay tuned. Alright folks, hi, welcome to Welding with Jeremy. No idea what I'm doing. So I bought the solar flux. The directions say to mix it with alcohol. The only alcohol I have here is some rubbing alcohol. It says they prefer methanol. This is definitely not that. but I've got it mixed up here. Probably a little too soupy, but it says to give it a minute to react. I cut the pipe in two and then took it to the belt sander, put on a new belt. I'm told cleanliness is very important for this. So I put on a new belt, grinded it down, made them flat. So the fit-up's like perfect. I'm pretty proud of that. If that's as good as it goes tonight, I guess we had something going for us. Then I took some 220 sandpaper by hand, cleaned up the inside and the outside, and then I took acetone, cleaned up the outside and inside. I've got just a pure tungsten, pretty sharp point, sticking out like a ton, 3/4 of an inch. I've got 40 CFH of argon, and now I'm going to take, oh, I didn't clean this yet, but my filler rod is now gone. Alright. That was not a good start. Try again with way more. Okay, something is very wrong. My arc was climbing up and it's already darkened the cup from that little bit. I'm on DC. Together, so what in the world? Okay, so good news. That actually went pretty well until I dipped my tungsten. Okay, I just blinded myself just a bit, and I definitely cooked that. So I was moving slow, and then I finally turned up the heat, and I got way too hot, but it was already too slow. By the way, this is a test piece. I hope you're aware of that. But that went way better than anything else so far. I was able to dab and move and actually get somewhere in the actual joint. Dude! Okay, we're getting somewhere. That's exciting. Come with me. I mean, it's not that anything to be too proud of, but I'll show you. So that actually works. So this, again, would not be like something you would be too proud of if you're a real welder. But, like, I didn't blow through. Consistency is terrible, but if I can do that about 50 times around a pipe, we might have something here. Something you should know about me, if you don't already, I'm not an overly patient person. In fact, I'm very impatient, so doing this is a bit of a challenge for me, but I have told my brain I'm dedicating tonight to practicing, because normally I like to just get stuff done and get the project done and move on to the next thing, but I've wanted to do this for a long time, so actually telling my brain to stop trying to like get a project done and dedicate that time to learning this skill. So I'm gonna try to keep going and like maybe do a few of these tonight. And then I'm buying some V-band clamps hopefully tomorrow, which I'll show you why. And then we can start using these skills on an actual project. Hey guys, I have a lot to do, so I'm trying to just bang through it now. I figured out my problem yesterday. I was using pure tungsten. Some of you said, oh, you can't do that. And why didn't you tell me? I would have known. I mean, obviously it works sort of, but it's not what you're supposed to do. So I got some E3. It's what the guys recommended at the store. And holy cow, it welds awesome. So far, I've just cut up a brand new header that I think you just saw that. And I'm putting a V-band on here. And no, these are not like perfect uniform, but that's gonna work. And it's gonna look, and I'll get better with each one I do. So I'm excited for that. That's a good start. So that's just a tack, 3 very lengthy tacks on that one, because I have a lot to do and I want to get the whole exhaust system mocked up tonight and then finish weld it tomorrow probably. Stay tuned. I also don't remember if I showed you kind of the deal. So it's got these ball flanges, whatever they're called. I think that's what they're called, and these things, and they are 100% going to leak. So I'm putting the V-bands on instead. And I hope I've got enough clearance. So I'll be cutting right here like I just did on the last one. And then I'll cut back here a little bit and I'll put a section of pipe to connect there. So, and then I'm going to cut somewhere in here and just get rid of this whole back half, and then I'm just going to do some turn downs at the end. So wish me luck, guys. I'm so thrilled with this. People wouldn't brag about this like if this is what you do every day, but for my very first attempt at like actually completing one, it's not going to focus, but just imagine how good it is. Let me try and focus it. I hate this camera. Why is this considered a good camera for this stuff? There. Okay. So again, not like pristine, amazing work, but that's work I can live with, and I'm proud of for my first try. Yee yee. Good evening. It's a new day, and I'm back to continue on this thing. So far I've got to finish fitting up this driver side pipe before I move over to do over here. So I cut this baby right here, and it's still a little too long. I had to ram it in there. So I'm going to go get back over the belt sander and shorten that baby up a little bit more, and I hope at that point it'll fit. So that's my next task. I learned a valuable lesson today. So I started out really good, and if this thing will focus, you'll find it. So it started out pretty good for a newbie, and I was going and going and going and going, and then she got a little hole in her. So I had to fill the hole. I learned that this header is difficult to weld because it has to lay in a weird angle, and I don't have any good fixtures for mounting stuff. So I had it all way off to the side trying to keep a weld going, and I couldn't tell that I had blown a giant hole in it. So I had to do a little cleanup, but it should stick. Alright, I got this side fit up and tacked. I gotta show it to you, don't I? And then I got it sitting back in here mounted down, and I got this side cut off, and you already saw me do that. So I just gotta fill that gap. I gotta put my other deal in, fill that gap, and off we go. My impatience has shown through once again. I just kind of like went for it. My fit up was kind of garbage on my last little pipe to fill that gap, and I was like, it's good enough, I'll just fill the gap. It's a lot harder to fill the gap with TIG than it is with MIG. It just wants to blow out the edge and then make an even bigger hole. So I'm embarrassed to show this to you, but here we go. So this is all done. It fits. I test fitted it several times. Some of the welds are nice. Some turned into giant craters that I had to fill. Like you can see where it gets a little wide at times. If you paid for this job, you'd probably complain. You would complain because it's not professional, but it fits up good. It fits up well, I believe is the word. So I'm gonna let that cool, and then I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna put it back on, and then I'm just gonna make some down tubes, turn downs, I guess, like this, only with some nicer stuff. So that's the plan, and then I got to make some tabs for the back. I have no stainless stock other than tube, so I guess I could cut a chunk out of that, or I might just rob these from this pipe and then try and make that work. We'll find out tomorrow or Saturday, I don't know. Alright, we're getting back to work. I'm probably yelling because I have these things on my ears. I took these, chopped that off. Now I've got my turn down, and then I just have to extend the pipe that's in there. I'll bring you with me and show you. So I think I want the tip about there, and I'm going to have it turned not 90 degrees down or out or straight down, but probably 45, something like that, I think. And then one over here, opposite way. And then I just have to fill the gap. I realize I have to be yelling right now. I'll talk a lot quieter. Anyway. Alright, I got my lengths cut. I'm going to do the turn downs to the sections so that they're easier to manipulate. So I have no excuses this time. If these don't turn out nice, it's on me. Well, I mean, it's always on me, but like, I don't have to dangle a weird thing over my head and try and weld upside down and whatever. So this one's should be theoretically easy. So if I can't do this, then I need more practice. Well, I definitely need more practice anyway, but you know what I'm saying. That did not go very well. I ran out of gas and it took me quite a while to figure it out. I'd stop a little stitch and my tungsten stayed black. I'm like, oh, that's not good. No, not black, but I already cleaned it up once. And then I realized, hey, I have no gas left. So that kind of sucks, but I guess I got plenty of work to do elsewhere, and it's Saturday today, so I can't go get gas. So that'll be a Monday project. I'll have to try and do that on my lunch break and whatnot. So anyway, I guess I'll move on to something else. I'm a little disappointed in myself, guys. So I ran out of gas for my welding, and what did I do next? I decided to work on making parts pretty. This is not me. I don't know what's gotten into me. Anyway, got the brackets and the spoiler all prettied up. I'm not proud of it. I finally finished my custom exhaust, thanks to Flowtech and Holly. I just basically modified their stuff for how I wanted it. So turned out pretty good for first time doing stainless TIG welding. I cut off the ball flanges and put V-bands, and we got the Flowtech headers, fit really nice. Of course, the daily dry sump. So pretty happy with it. I don't love the unfinished sound that you get from an exhaust that exits under the car, but I do love the simplicity, and I like that if we need to do something with the trans or the diff or drop the cradle, I don't have to worry about even touching the exhaust at the track. So win. Oh, you want to hear it, huh? See if it'll start. Let's try again.